With rain potentially falling this weekend, we are sure to see lots of drivers spin, crash, and surf across the racetrack like what Lance Stroll did last year in Brazil during the formation lap. But you know what would suck while you're watching all this goodness? You getting viruses and malware on your device, or maybe for some of you, being totally blocked out of watching the race due to your country's restrictions. Well, if you don't want to be affected by terrible things like that, let me tell you about Surfshark VPN. Surfshark will not only allow you to encrypt your data, which will drive away any bugs or viruses, thus leading to safer online privacy, but it will also allow you to change your location virtually, meaning if you're a region locked out of, let's say, F1 TV, simply change your location to a country that supports it, and then boom, you now have access to it. And of course, this works with other things like Netflix, Disney Plus, or literally every single streaming service out there. And don't worry, I also know a lot of you have friends and family who wish the same, so why not share the same benefits with them by giving them access, since Surfshark allows unlimited devices to be logged on. And let's say you do get Surfshark but aren't pleased with it, no worries, since they have a 30-day money-back guarantee which will allow you to get refunded in full should you be dissatisfied with the product. So if you're looking to bolster your online security and privacy, and or get access to things that are region locked out of your country, as well as a plethora of other features, make sure to subscribe to Surfshark VPN by going to surfshark.com/fduck and using the promo code FDUCK for an additional 4 months free. It has helped me greatly with online privacy since I haven't had any sort of viruses or malware attacks in forever, and it could even be more beneficial to you, so why not give it a try? Once again, go to surfshark.com/fduck and use the promo code FDUCK for an additional 4 months free. So with that, let's get back to the video. So with the Australian Grand Prix concluded, we now move quickly onto the Chinese Grand Prix before we could really digest what happened in Australia. No matter though, China is a hit or miss track. On one hand, you get races like in 2018 where it was kind of poppin', or you get races like in 2019 where I'm pretty sure no one remembers what happened. Most of the time though, this is a race where we enjoy it at first, but then forget about it the next day. Anyways, luckily I will be spared from this since I have a plot twist for you later in the video. Anyways, this track really isn't too good, mainly because of the constant medium and low speeds back to back, with the only real action taking place on either turn 1 or the end of this long ass straight. We have had moments like last year where Lando did Lando things at turn 1, or moments like in 2018 where Max and Seb had to break into a little boogie after racing for a while. So things can definitely happen, but it really depends on how the drivers and weather feel. Personally, I think drivers, especially the rookies, will still be hung up on Australia, so while they won't crash I hope, I don't expect them to be as focused like last week, with the exception of Kimi Antonelli since he genuinely was great, and Oliver Behrman since surely all the bad luck of the year is gone. So I feel like I've been talking for a while, you know the drill by now. Let us discuss and speculate the upgrades teams may bring to the weekend, the stories from the weekend prior, who we should keep an eye on this weekend, and finally, my predictions for the race weekend. So go join the Discord to experience the weekend live and make your own predictions that may appear in the winners and losers video, and subscribe if you're new if you love cookies. So enough yapping, and here is the weekend preview for the Chinese Grand Prix.
See those clouds up in the corner? That's where the rain is coming from.
So let us start with the potential upgrades coming to China, and there are a few teams we do have to look out for. For example, Haas. Ayo Komatsu has hinted at potential upgrades for China by saying the team will be better for it. Now this can mean a variety of things: performance specs, team switches, basically anything that can be changed. So we do at least know something will be different. I mean, clearly, right? Australia was straight up embarrassing, man. 2024 was such a good year for the team, so I don't really understand how they took a massive step back for 2025, but in Komatsu we trust. Let's hope his words of improvement do come to fruition soon. Next, we potentially have Alpine bringing upgrades, since I would imagine Oliver Oakes wants to ride the high that was Melbourne. Now, what high you might be saying? Well, even though they scored 0 points, it's clear the car has potential and Alpine could be their former selves again. Which, I mean, being known for being like P5 or 6 really isn't special, but hey, let them have fun. Again, the rain really threw Alpine off in Australia. However, in the dry, they were good, and with Gasly, a top 10 contender. Plus, Doohan deserves flowers too, since he is somewhat close, and at least for now, not deserving of a sacking for Colapinto. So big things are potentially ahead for the French. Next, I have Ferrari, since if there is any hope for this year, they have to be aggressive with the upgrades. That McLaren is too quick, and the Red Bull in the hands of Max is somehow ahead of us. Ferrari need whatever Williams did to their car, so I got nothing else to say other than do better. Next, I have Aston Martin, and rinse and repeat everything I said with Ferrari. especially considering how rich the team is. Now for the top dogs. Am I being dramatic by not calling Ferrari a top dog? And I have Red Bull. Now with Liam, we know absolutely nothing with him, since even in the dry, Liam was nowhere. But with Max, I think they found something out. Clearly, tire wear needs some upgrading, so a new suspension or front wing could be beneficial to the car, so hopefully some minor upgrades could be brought here, and the major upgrades like the two I mentioned before can come soon. I say hopefully since I want a nice fight for the title, and Max is a good contender for that, so yeah, nothing more. Finally, I have Mercedes riding off from Australia. You know, I'll hand it to Merc. Making a somewhat good car right when Lewis leaves is pretty funny, but hey, as the official #1 Antonelli Glazer, I'm not complaining. Mercedes is weird. They don't look slow, far from slow. However, they clearly could be faster. There are no major issues right now, so if this keeps up and all upgrades could go to bettering what's already good, dare I say, chat, George Russell 2025 World Champion. I am tired of George Russell slander. Want to know why he always spawns in P3? It's not because of luck, it's because he drives consistently good throughout the race, so that if something happens further ahead, it's not a matter of if George could capitalize, it's when he does. And if Merc keep upgrading the car similar to McLaren last year, this guy can not only mount a solid charge for the title, but do it without bottling, mostly. He's no max level of consistency just yet, however, I could see him reach that level in like a year or two. Plus, let us not forget about Kimi. Kimi had a whatever weekend until the race. In the race, Kimi went from 16th to 4th on merit and immediately shut the haters up. And if they are still talking, they won't be for any longer. Kimi is the real deal, just like with George, and we as a community need to stop underestimating Mercedes. Holy yap session. Now let's move on to the stories, and we start with the fairly short one since it's not really massive, but we do have Oscar Piastri getting his contract renewed for the foreseeable future. Get these woke words out of my sport. I want the year specified again in my contracts. I want to count down the days until a driver is released to the free world, man. Anyways, this is a great thing for Oscar since McLaren are only on the up as well with his skill. But is this a great thing for McLaren themselves?
I don't know.
Oh wait, I forgot McLaren are actually competent now, won't play dumb papaya fools again.
Excellent argument. Approved.
Next, we have Ferrari pulling a triple whammy on everyone. What I mean is, at first we thought they were going to be whatever in the fight for the lead, but then we saw that no, they are actually competitive. But then we saw again that no, these lot are genuine mid and borderline ass. Now, there were a lot of external factors that played into their bad result, such as the rain and the strategy team, but let's be real, chat. If the strat was top notch and the race was dry, P5 was still the maximum in the race. It is embarrassing, dude. We need to fix something clearly. For starters, the car just sucks. It needs more performance. Secondly, the strategy team apparently were influenced by Binotto being present at the track, cause what the hell was that race? And finally, stop aura farming. Focus on the results, please. Finally, we have the McLaren car and Lando Norris being back in business straight away. Now, firstly, I know there are rumors from seething F1 fans that the McLaren car is cheating. However, I don't think that is the case. These people say they are cheating because their tires were just not dying and staying perfectly in range compared to everyone else who was clearly suffering. I am of the belief it could be because they were so far out in front and not following any cars, but truthfully, who the hell knows? One thing we do know though is that McLaren are only bringing the heat up further. If they are not cheating, then guys, put your biases and hatred aside and appreciate the fact that this McLaren car is genuinely such a piece of innovation. The car is stupid good and quick, and yeah, you could say that's not being used to the max by Lando, but Lando is still winning in that car. We need to expect Lando from here on out to be the favorite for every single race, similar to Max in 2023. It could be their time, so we will have to wait and see. I lied. The final thing is now, and the FIA are set to be putting some technical directives this week in China that aim to clamp down on the Mini DRS once and for all after it appeared again by McLaren in Australia. Look man, in my opinion, just make it a legal thing so everyone can do it rather than deeming it illegal along with the other 500 million banned things in the sport. But yeah, this directive will likely affect McLaren badly, so we will have to see for now. Now for who we should watch out for, and for this, I think we should watch Ferrari, since if last weekend was anything to go by, they're going to need all of our hopes and prayers, and yes, all of ours. Do not shy away, non-Ferrari fans. Okay, now for the part you've been waiting for, my predictions for the Chinese Grand Prix. As always, it must be said that we will predict 3 things: the top 5 in the quali, the top 5 in the race, and a random prediction from any session. It should also be noted that these predictions will be based on nothing but pure vibes, so bear with me. Also, this is a sprint weekend, and for this, I will only predict the sprint pole winner and the sprint race winner. Anyways, let's finally begin with our predictions, and we first have sprint predictions, and for this, I think the sprint pole will go to Oscar Piastri and the sprint win will go to Charles Leclerc. Now for my quali predictions, and I predict that the top 5 on Saturday, starting with 5th, will be Oscar Piastri, and 4th will be Max Verstappen, and 3rd will be George Russell, and 2nd will be Charles Leclerc, and for pole position, I have Lando Norris after a pretty boring qualifying session. Now for the race predictions, and starting with 5th, I have Oscar Piastri, in 4th, I have George Russell, in 3rd, I have Charles Leclerc, in 2nd, I have Max Verstappen, and the winner of the Chinese Grand Prix is Lando Norris. Oh boy. Now for my random prediction, and I think the sprints will be more exciting than the actual race stuff. Also, make sure to join my Discord to make your predictions for the weekend and have a chance to appear in the winners and losers. And that was my weekend preview for the Chinese Grand Prix. Alright guys, now for the plot twist. The winners and losers will not come out on the day of the race. I know, I'm washed, I'm pathetic. Well, the race is at midnight for me, which means it's done at like 2 a.m. And man, I don't want to record at that time. I'm an early bird. I already stayed up late for the Australia video, so simply deal with it. The video drops on Monday. Thank God it's not a triple header. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the flock for their continued support, and make sure to join it if you want cool benefits as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out, and make sure to let me know in the comments what your predictions are. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.